Throughout human history, we've witnessed brutal, perverted, and delusional killers. But one name continues to haunt the world to this day: Ted Bundy. He wasn't a monster you could spot in a crowd. On the contrary, he was handsome, polite, intelligent, a picture of success. But that was only the mask. Beneath Ted Bundy lay a cold, twisted, bloodthirsty soul. Ted Bundy was born in 1946 in Burlington, Vermont, USA. From an early age, he had an obsession with power and control. He never knew who his real father was and grew up in a strict household that emphasized moral behavior. Outwardly, he appeared as a smart, attractive, and charming young man, but frighteningly, this was the perfect disguise to hide the monster within. Bundy studied psychology before transferring to law school. He even worked as an assistant for a crime prevention committee and authored a guide for women on how to avoid assault. Those who knew Bundy described him as charismatic and driven. He even volunteered in political campaigns. No one would have imagined that this same man was stalking, abducting, and murdering women in cold blood. Unlike impulsive killers, Ted Bundy used his intelligence and understanding of human psychology to lure victims. He pretended to be injured with a cast on his arm, a dropped pile of books, or a request for help with his car. And when the victim, usually kind, naive, trusting young women, turned her back, he would strike. He used a metal rod or a crowbar to hit their heads, then loaded them into his small, innocent-looking Volkswagen Beetle, a car he chose specifically because it appealed to women. He disposed of the bodies in twisted, grotesque ways, revealing a deeply disturbed and bloodthirsty mind. Some notable cases: Lynda Ann Healy, 1974, a University of Washington student and radio broadcaster. She disappeared after leaving her home, and her decomposed body was found months later with severe head trauma. Janice Ott Denise Naslund, 1974. Two women abducted on the same day from Lake Sammamish Park in Seattle. Witnesses recalled a handsome man with a cast introducing himself as Ted, asking for help with his car. DaRonch, 1974, one of the rare victims who survived. Bundy impersonated a police officer and lured her into his car for questioning. She sensed something was wrong and managed to escape, later providing a key description of him. Debra Kent, 1974, a high school student from Utah who disappeared after leaving a school play. Bundy had earlier tried to lure another girl from the same location. Her body wasn't found until years later. Omega, 1978. After his second escape from prison, Bundy broke into the Omega sorority house at Florida State University, killing 2 women and severely injuring 2 others within just 15 minutes. These events revealed not only his brutality, but also his ability to manipulate and meticulously plan. He exploited human kindness, a strength, and turned it into an opportunity to kill. For years, Ted Bundy avoided suspicion thanks to his charming appearance, sharp intellect, and eloquent speech. He left no clear evidence, constantly moved across states, and chose victims with no known ties to him, making it hard to draw connections. His calm demeanor made it nearly impossible to believe he was a serial killer. What's more shocking is that at least 3 people close to Ted reported their suspicions to the police. Longtime girlfriend Elizabeth Klopfer, also known as Meg Anders, called the Seattle police in 1974 after seeing a police sketch that looked just like Ted and knowing he drove a yellow VW Beetle. But with no prior record, Bundy was dismissed from the suspect list. An old college friend, after hearing about the disappearances and seeing the sketch, also reported him. Once again, police did not follow up seriously. Even a former professor from the University of Utah raised concerns about Bundy, but the lead was buried among hundreds of anonymous tips. Police departments from different states, Washington, Utah, Colorado, and Florida, weren't communicating effectively. Bundy exploited this weakness. He killed in one state and then moved to another, always staying ahead of law enforcement. Even when police received detailed reports about a suspect named Ted, with a cast, driving a yellow Beetle, they failed to act swiftly due to lack of hard evidence. His confidence, politeness, and seemingly normal demeanor made detectives underestimate him. Ted Bundy looked more like a nice guy than someone who could kill dozens of women. That allowed him to hide in plain sight from the public and law enforcement for years. Ted Bundy was first arrested in 1975 by chance. In his car, police found a crowbar, ski mask, knife, and other suspicious items. However, when brought to court, Bundy chose to represent himself, allowing him to move freely inside the courthouse without handcuffs. He escaped twice, the second time by sawing through a ceiling hole using a worn-out hacksaw real-life prison break. While on the run, he killed at least 6 more victims, including a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach, whom he abducted from her middle school. His escape sent waves of panic across the country. Schools were closed, police issued statewide manhunts. But Ted evaded capture until a routine traffic stop in Florida finally ended his spree. Ted Bundy's trial was the first in U.S. history to be televised. He continued to represent himself, flaunting his appearance and charisma, but ultimately failed. He was sentenced to death by electric chair and executed in 1989. During the trial, Bundy proposed to a former girlfriend in court live, on television trying to maintain the image of a normal man in love. It was a disturbing attempt to manipulate public sympathy. Even moments before his execution, Bundy desperately tried to convince the world of his innocence. A monster without remorse. His last words, "Give my love to my family." But for the families of his victims, there was no closure, only grief, anger, and the question: how many more women had he killed in silence? If you found this story shocking, gripping, or thought-provoking about human nature, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories. What do you think about Ted Bundy? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.